Hey everybody, so I'm going to show you how to get started with Repl. Um, so what you're going to do is you're going to need to create an account. Okay, and once you have an account created, what you can do is then choose the language that you're going to use. So your languages are here on the left-hand side. For this course, we're using Java, so we're going to click Java. Okay, and that brings us into this page where you can begin creating some Java programs. Now it preloads a class called main, and it creates a main method. We'll talk more about the main method towards the end of the course, what all this means and why it's all here. Okay, but what you need to know right now is that the main method is just how the program knows where to start your code. Okay, where to jump in. The main method tells the code how to do that. So the system.out.println is kind of one of the first methods we learn in Java. So it's a method, so you have to pass it something in order for it to work. In this case, the argument that we're passing is hello world. So what this method does, you can kind of think about methods as something that you put an item into, okay, in order to make some kind of computation happen. Okay, it's kind of like a calculator, like punching numbers into a calculator and then hitting equals and then getting something that comes back out. Okay, what system.out.println does is it takes this hello world, okay, and sends it over into the console over here, okay, which is like your output area. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about the difference between console and graphical user interface a little bit later on. Okay, but for right now, that's what system.out.println is going to do. It's going to send this string of letters over to the console. So when I hit run, takes a second. And there I can see my hello world outputs right there. Okay, so that was pretty simple program. Okay, we can make our programs a little bit more interesting. So we can create variables that we can store things in. So I can go integer age equals 37. Got to put a semicolon in behind there just to make sure that it knows that that's the end of the line of code. Okay, and that sort of tells the computer to execute that. And I'm also going to do a string name. I'm going to say my name. So in Java, what we do is whenever we have to use the better the more we can make a descriptive name, the better. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to call it my name. So it's no one else's name, it's just my name. So whenever we put two words together, we use this camel method of naming, okay, where we make the first word small, okay, and then we capitalize the first letter of the next word. And then if there was another word, then we could call it my name is, okay, and we continue to add on description by just stringing these words together with capitals at the beginning of each one, except for the first one, okay. So that just makes the naming a little more clear for other people to see if they're reading the code. So instead of saying output hello world, what I can do here is I can now use those variables that I created in order to output them. So I can do a system.out.println my name is, plus now I'm going to add in a string of characters, a space at the beginning, space at the end, my age is, and then put in my age. Okay. So now when I go to run that in the console, it's going to pull those variables into that system.out.println and display them, and there it is. My name is Mr. Han, my age is 37. So that's a real simple Repl.it, and that we can see the main advantage of using Repl.it is that it's web-based. So you're not storing any files locally on your computer. You don't have to have any software installed on your computer. The one sort of disadvantage that I see is it doesn't have a canvas for graphical user interfaces. You can still build graphical user interfaces, it just takes a little extra coding. So as we kind of move through the course, I'll sort of adjust assignments that have graphical user interfaces so they can be done on here. Okay, if you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to reach out.